Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Trails, the second chapter. We are done. We finally have done everything in Rolent we wanted to do. We've done all the quests, we completed them and we reported them, and the only thing left for us to do now is finally go to the Airliner and make our way over to Bose. If I'm not mistaken. Because we've been busy for a while with all the fishing, the extra side quests, getting the best recipe. Yeah. So let's see if our tickets are ready. Hey Estelle, heading out already? You just came home, sure you can't stay around for a while? Yeah, sorry, there's kind of a lot going on. Once our current job's done, I totally intend to come back and take a load off for a while. You really should, we'll be waiting. Anyway, your ticket's already been paid for by Aina. And ready to check in? As always, we should wait for the ship once we check in. Yes, we know. Do you have any other business in Rolent before we go? I do like the fact that they ask you this, that in case you forget that this is moving on to a new area, at least you get a chance to back off a little bit and finish off what you still want to do. But not for us. We say, let's fly. Alright then. I'll give the guildhouse a ring and call the other members of your team. Estelle's team checked in for their flight and waited for the airship. Including Olivier? Because he was really messed up by the end of last episode. He's probably being... there he is. Is he walking normally? Does look like it. Yeah, he was wasted with Anton last time. Yeah, but once we get to Bose and checked into the guildhouse, we'll probably switch him back into the party, because I want to see if there's any extra interaction when we get to the Enteros. Ah, I see. So now we have a gospel influencing people's minds. Using the fog particulate matter as a medium to exert mental control over a large area. Well, that settles one question at least. Excuse me, Professor. Ah, Cassius, you old dog. Good timing. Escaped at Leiston, did you? Yes, I finally managed to finish off a bit of work. I thought I would stop by and see how you're holding up. Was this a report from your granddaughter? Ah yes, just arrived express from Rolent. Thanks to Tita's report, I'm quite certain of my theory now. About the gospel, I'm assuming. Yes, though it's ultimately still a hypothesis at this point. I've gone over it again and again, and both on paper and with the Capelle, though, so I'm reasonably sure of this. Shall I go over it? Oh, absolutely. Ah, right. So, what we've been calling the Gospel's orbital shutdown phenomenon? Tell me, what do you think it is, based upon what you have seen so far? It's an effect that occurs to an orbital device located near an active Gospel, chaining from one device to another, and it renders the device inert while a Gospel is active. That's how it seems to me at least. Half right, half wrong. But what you're describing is closer to the orbital art anti-sept. That's short out of the internal quartz circuits of an orbment to temporarily suspend its functionality. The phenomenon generated by a gospel, however, is fundamentally different. It steals all the orbital energy formed in an orbment down to the very last joule. So it's more of an orbital absorption phenomenon then. Yes, to make a comparison to a combustion engine, it's like siphoning out the petrol. But wait. Unless I badly misunderstand physics, that means the gospel should absorb and store all that power. Correct? Ah, good eye, lad. You've noticed a very important fact. So I've measured the gospel after it absorbs the energy, but the gospel does not actually hold any of it. Not even a single EP's worth. Is it possible the energy is being vented into the wider environment? Oh no, not at all. The energy disappears. Completely, utterly and quite impossibly thanks to thermodynamics. Furthermore, these new gospels Estelle's group has been encountering, every time they're encountered, they cause unbelievable phenomena that even our best orbal engineers can't explain. It is unclear how they are causing such an effect, but I can say one thing with confidence. And that is, they're too small. I can say with absolute certainty that any device enabling such massive effects could not fit into the palm of one's hand. Even if the society somehow possesses technology centuries ahead of our own, nothing that small could contain that much potential energy. Ah, I think I'm starting to see where this is going. You're saying that the gospels must be terminals then? Access points of some sort. Oh. What if, at the end of the Trails the First chapter, by us activating the Aureole in the sealed area underneath Grancel, we basically made all these gospels more active? Like, that's basically where the energy is coming from and maybe where it's going. Just a random thought after hearing this. Exactly. The only function the gospel unit itself has is an ability to manifest an abnormal warp in a local orbal field. That warp then resonates with any local orbal device, expands and draws energy from the devices. The energy then disappears through the warp. Well, no, it does not actually disappear, it is sent elsewhere. And whatever is located elsewhere is capable of causing the impossible effects we have seen. You know, I hope I'm misunderstanding this. I'm afraid you get a passing grade here, old friend. The society can use the gospel to draw out and spread the power of whatever this thing is. Spreading the influence of a mysterious force. No wonder the society named them gospels. In that case, the nature of this thing bothers me. As you said, even if it's an ornament out of our purest fiction, or as far as that goes, I'm afraid I have no real clue. I've thought of a number of possibilities, but that would be pure speculation at this point. Now, Cassius, I will ask you the same question I asked you 10 years ago. We're in quite the pickle. What do you need me to do? The exact same words as when I asked you to develop the patrol airship. Well then. The key, I think, must lie in this warp the gospel creates. Russell, can you develop some kind of plan or method of stopping the resonance? The spread. I thought you asked that. I'm just about done with my current invention anyway. I'll get to work as soon as I'm done with that. And just like that. Would be really cool if you managed to do that. Alright. Back on the Cecilia, on our way to Bose. So just like always, it's time for us to walk around and talk to everyone on the airship. Especially our friends. Oh, hello Estelle. Hi Schera. So this is where you went. Oh wait, do you want to be alone for a bit? Oh, this is unlike you, Estelle. Why so reserved? You want to ask about Luciliola, right? Yeah. She says we met a long time ago, but I don't really remember her at all. I was wondering what she's like, and if you could jog my memory. Let's see. Where to begin then? Well, we have to begin with her stage name, I suppose. Luciola, the Bewitching Bell. She could show her audience illusions by dancing while using bells and fans, thus bewitching them, you see? Hers was the centerpiece performance of our little circus troupe, the one that really brought the audiences in. Illusions. Does she use an ornament to make them? Oh no, she uses something she always calls illusion magic, which is apparently some kind of old non-orbal art. Luciola was from a family with a tradition of working that art. Was? Well, people who fall in with a traveling circus like ours tend to be one of two kinds. People who had cause to abandon their previous home and families, or people who never had such a thing to begin with. Luciola was one of the former. I was the latter. I was about 7 years old when Mr. Harvey and his band took me in. Back then, I was little more than a street urchin living in the slums of a city. Pickpocketing, petty theft, there was little I wouldn't do to try to survive. The one who reached out the hand to me were the troop leader, Mr. Harvey and Luciola. They taught me, the little girl who couldn't trust anyone, the warmth of a family. And they taught me all sort of skills that would let me earn a place for myself in the troop. And dancing, beast handling, tarot reading, Luciola taught me all of it. But then, 8 years ago, Mr. Harvey died in an accident. Without his leadership, we drifted apart and went our own ways. I'd been planning on staying with Luciola, but soon after Mr. Harvey died, she simply told me, "There's something I must do," and vanished. Hopeless and lost for the first time in years, I turned to the one remaining man in the world whom I still trusted. As you might suspect, that was Cassius, who'd already begun working as a bracer. And you know the rest, I imagine. So that's what happened. I had no idea you'd gone through something like that. Well, the reason I aimed to become a bracer at first was to improve myself. I wanted to be able to live and prosper on my own, show Luciola just how far I'd come once he returned. But, well, it has been 8 years. Perhaps that was enough time to re-examine my reasons. Schera. Aw, don't make that face. Like Zin said, I don't intend to simply fight her without saying a word. I want to hear Luciola's story from her before doing anything. I have to know what possible reason could have made her associate with the society. Yeah, that sounds good. I've got your back, Schera. I'll do anything I can to help. I know I can always count on you. Still, you've grown quite a bit, haven't you, Estelle? What? That's kinda sudden. I always thought of you as being exactly what I expect out of Cassius' daughter. I don't think that's quite right, or fair anymore, though. What do you mean? Well, your strength isn't quite the same as Cassius's. Cassius has a heart as deep as the ocean, and strength like a relentless wave. But you, Estelle? Your strength is like the sun. You shine and make others shine just by being near them. What? My Estelle. You shine like the sun. I think that's why people are attracted to you so easily. It's what I like most about you. And I know that Joshua felt exactly the same way. I don't think you need to feel any pressure to live up to Cassius, is my point. Yeah. You really are my big sister, Schera. You always know how to encourage me. Thanks. You're very welcome. Not saying you should return the favor, mind, but you really should drink with me sometime. Now that you're a full bracer, you better learn to handle your liquor. How is booze related to... You know what? Never mind. I don't even think I want to know. Because when you're out with a man, you need to be able to stay on the ball at all times. So that means holding your liquor. Because you saw what happened with Anton. He tried to drink Anya under the table so he could profess his love. And he failed. Because she was prepared. A bit overly prepared, but that's an entirely different discussion. I'll be back in my seat once I've enjoyed the wind a little bit more. Make sure you're all buckled in before we land, Estelle. I'm sure we will be, but there's still a lot more people to talk to. Bose has been absolutely peaceful for a while now, it seems. Even the liberal news says nothing of the note happened. That's something to be happy about, at least. Bose Market is a dreamland for anyone who likes to shop. I've heard even the manager of the Edel department store is fan of the Bose Market. Ah, Estelle. At last we return to Bose, the land laden with memories of our first meeting. Ah, it makes my heart swell to return to a place of such sweet nostalgia. Shocking as it may be, I kinda have to agree on the heart-swelling memories a bit. Although, as I remember it, you were kind of rude back then. You said I wasn't attractive and made fun of me as a schoolboy. You misunderstand me, my fair rose. I would only display such cute, bashful behavior in order to hide feelings of love unabated. Yeah, I'll bet that is. Sure, exactly. You sure didn't waste any time putting the move on Schera, as I remember? Or Joshua? Well, putting that aside, as you stand now, your beauty is incomparable to what it was then. Yours is a subtle, healthy beauty with a maiden's gentle virtue. Indeed, you have grown, Estelle. Thank you? Though, when you put it that way, it is kind of embarrassing, so please don't say it like that again. There's no shame to be had in virtue, Estelle. Still, you have but only begun to climb the ladder of adulthood. Should you wish to ascend even higher, I'll be more than happy to assist you. No, thank you. Yeah, I don't even want to know what he means by assisting. Yeah, better keep a safe distance of that one. If I ever was in a position to ask anyone about that sort of thing, it'll be a million times better off asking Schera. Ah, a pity, the things I could teach. Though, Schera would be the one to... Ah. I'll remind you that I have a very large stick. Yep, and she'll put it somewhere where the sun don't shine if you keep that up, Olivier. Very risky. Speaking of Bose, I remember that lovely mayor and her handmaiden with the cool gaze. Ah, the thrill of thought of meeting them again. We definitely will. Bose has a really famous restaurant in it. Ooh, I know. Mommy, let's go eat there. I don't know if your mommy can afford that. Really, child? My daughter keeps saying she wants to eat at the Anteros restaurant in Bose. It must be nice to be a child, so innocent, so unaware of prices. It is very true, because what we remember, it is really, really expensive. We can't afford that as bracers. The last time we went there, it was with the mayor, because she owns that place. Hello, miss. We're very sorry for the delay at Rolent. I'm afraid merely launching into that fog would have been incredibly dangerous. True. So that's why we solved the issue ourselves. My friend's one of the guards at Agate, and let me tell you, the existence of the Empire weighs more heavily on the minds of our troops than anyone else's. Ironically, I think our military men will welcome the non-aggression pact more than the rest of us. Yeah. Because even if it's just the intention of no aggression, it does form a small barrier for the Empire not to do anything towards Liberl. And even that little bit will give us that peace of mind. Oh, hi Estelle. Still walking around? Sorta, yeah. Oh, Tita, this is your first time in Bose, isn't it? Uh-huh. I've heard there's a really big store in Bose. I kinda want to see it. The Bose market, yeah. Think of it like the department store in Grancel, but even bigger. It's actually a bunch of different stores all in one space. It's really busy. Wow, that sounds amazing. I hope we arrive in Bose soon. This makes me want to take Tita with us instead of Agate. Because he wants to shop there. And Olivier wants to go to the Enteros, so we have two people that have actual reasons to be there. Like I said, I'm still thinking about it. But for now, Agate and Olivier will be the party. Estelle, have you been to Revenue Village? Yep, I stopped there once on a job. That's Agate's hometown, right? Uh-huh, he was a little sister named Misha living there. Agate goes back pretty often, I think. At least once a year to say hello to her. Once a year is not pretty often. That is way too little. But I think this was the original reason why I wanted Agate in our party, because he came from Revenue Village. Yeah, I think we're gonna stand with our choice. Ah, right. Agate's little sister, huh? Must be hard for the poor girl, having such an antisocial lump for a brother. Estelle, that's not nice. Agate can be blunt, but he's also really nice. Yeah. He's just a kind of clumsy and easily embarrassed, to be honest. You think? I bet Misha's a really good person. Whenever Agate talks about her, his eyes turn so gentle. Tita, what's wrong? No, it's nothing. My heart just felt, kind of weird for a bit. I wonder why. I think she's being jealous of Misha. Because I do think Tita has a bit of a crush on Agate. I think somebody's a bit jealous of Misha, I bet. Totally agree with you there, Estelle. Misha, huh? I hope I can be your friend if we meet. Yeah, she wants to be your friend so she can take her down, I bet. Alright, let's get to the bottom first. Least chance of there being people. Hi ma'am, you've been riding a lot today, lately. That fucking Rolent was a totally kick, wasn't it? I took the chance to get out and enjoy some nature when we were docked. Yeah, with the fog gone, I'm sure it was beautiful. Hey, is something wrong, Agate? It's nothing. You still wandering around the ship? Yeah, basically. Oh, you're from Revenue in Bose region, right? This'll be your first time back home in a while then. No. Was there just a bit ago chasing down the intelligent visions, guys? Hey, wait a second. Why are you assuming I'm going back home? Aw, don't be embarrassed. You're a big teddy bear. You got a little sister back in Revenue, right? You mentioned her once. You must be the biggest softie when it comes to her, huh? Hey. Oh yeah, where the heck in Revenue is your house anyway? I don't remember meeting any girl who stood out as Agate's little sister when we were there investigating the Sky Bandits. There was a girl with Louis, but no, too young. And I figure your little sister gotta have your hair. I'll introduce you to Misha soon, assuming we have some reason to visit anyway. I'm the player. Making that meeting possible is a mission to me. Yeah, please do. And in that case, we'll have to bring Tita along too. But why would we do that? Tita's kind of attached to you, in case you hadn't noticed. She'd be pretty let down if you didn't introduce her to your sister, you know? Oh, I get it. You don't want Misha and Tita to meet, huh? What? Now I get it. They might get together and get in lots of trouble, like Tita did with Ren, or might get jealous of each other. Being an older brother must be hard work. Oh, so that's what you meant. Well, don't worry. I'll clean up any mess that happens. I got pretty good at Tita herding. So you just go ahead and introduce those two crazy kids and I'll make sure nothing blows up. Yeah, thanks. I'll be counting on you for that. Let me just say this, I'm only heading back to Revenue once we're settled with the job. Don't think you're just gonna drag me out there or something. Oh, you jerkface. Oh, we are gonna drag him out there. 100%. But she makes a good point. If you do decide to go to Revenue for a job or just a social visit, you've got to remember to switch the team over to Agate and Tita. Just in case. Badum badum badum. Yes sir, understood. Correcting course to the south. Ba-bum ba-da-bum ba-boom. Yep, the never stopping singing flyer. Helm, you're gonna be a bit too far northwest. We don't want to get close to the mountainside. I want to avoid turbulence if we can. My apologies for the late departure from port. Still, I've been a captain for years and I've never seen fog that thick. Even the lights at full beam couldn't burn through it. Flying in that would have been impossible, even for me. Yep, and you never want to risk your patience. I mean, passengers. Almost the same thing. My, that fog was terrible. And then it just dissipated in an instant. I've never seen such a strange fog in all my days. Hello, miss. Thank you for your patronage. To your right currently you can view the Liberl Valley. The fog around Rolent has cleared, but that area remains foggy year-round. It does. We've been there. Seems like the non-aggression pact was signed with no delays. I hope it leads to harmony between Liberl and its neighbors. I hope so too, at least for the time being. Because we're just started in our journey through the Legend of Heroes series. And I'm sure there's still a lot bound to happen between the countries. Apparently there's been some very nice lodging at the edge of Valyria Lake. It's very popular with fishermen, I've heard. And I'm sure we're gonna go there at least once, even if it's just to talk to the people there. Ah, still, good work this time. You're really growing as a bracer. I'm still kind of a newbie, I think. Like, I'm not even remotely as good with a staff as Dad. Well, I don't think you should worry about Master Cassius much. An S-rank bracer is a master of their profession to a degree that they attain a unity of purpose. All martial artists seek it, after all. To be honest, I don't think I could attain such enlightenment even if I spent my whole life trying. I see. I gotta admit, it's kinda hard for me to understand how incredible my dad is, but... Actually, Zin, you mentioned the whole unity of purpose idea to Kloe back at the castle. What exactly does that mean? Yeah, I did. Well, it's kinda tough to explain, to be honest. Well, here goes. Master Cassius was once such a transcendent master of the sword, he was given the title of Divine Blade. Today, though, he can wield a staff just as easy as a sword he spent his life training with. Why do you think that is? He practiced really hard? Well, that's part of it, sure. But more than that, it is because he could instantly understand and relate to the nature of the staff combat, to his previous experience. Something beyond what we call skill, above practice forms and reflexes, above muscle memory. To think of it as a mental state where one can grasp the true nature of all things and control them at will. Is he talking about talent? Like that he has an innate talent to understand weaponized combat or something like that? That whole concept is what we refer to unity of purpose. The true nature of all things, huh? His plan to push back the Imperial army during your war was the same, I bet. He understood the nature of war, of combat, so intrinsically, so instinctively, that he was able to construct the plan he did. There would be none more fearsome foe as a foe. I get it, I think, but that means that even my supposedly enlightened dad was beaten in some ways by the society. During the coup, he was lured out by the country for starters. Yeah, they almost certainly possess someone equal to Master Cassius. It is hard to know if it's whoever Kloe is, or this professor though. I don't think so. I think Kloe and the professor are definitely going to be very impressive adversaries, but I do feel there's somebody above that. Above the society. The one who controls it all. Could it be the guy who we know as Lawrence? He was pretty powerful. I don't know. He is incredibly skilled, sure, but I doubt it could be a match up to Master Cassius. Besides, his ki, his soul, they did not have unity of purpose. Not in the way I have spoken of. He is a blade, sharpened in one specific way by the coldest frost, tempted to perfection, untouched by anyone. That's the sense I got from him in the arena, at least. Yeah, I get what you mean. He hasn't shown himself, but I figure he's got to be up to something. Yep, he's Lowy, and now he is not wearing a mask. He did seem to have some kind of fixation on Joshua. It wouldn't surprise me if they know each other from Joshua's days in the society. Between him, me and Scherazard, we've all got some strange ties in our past to this group. I wonder if this is the guidance of she who dwells above. That does sound really... There's a really interesting thought about it, that the goddess has determined to put the society against bracers that are known to the society and the other way around. So they know what they're dealing with on some unconscious level at least. Yeah, this is one of the parts that I'm really looking forward to on how that's gonna be developed, because I'm pretty sure through this game and the next one we'll be the ones that take out the society or dismantle it. Because the thing is, if you know people from the society, yes, we can beat them, but wouldn't it be better and more in line with Estelle's character, as we just heard from Scherazard being the son, to persuade them to walk away from the society and become good, maybe even bracers, to help other people instead of tormenting them through experiments and such. I think that would be a really nice place if that's where the game's going, but I cannot guarantee that. There's nothing showing us that that's where we're going, one way or another. It's just too far ahead for us to see now. But I will be keeping that in the back of my mind. Estelle, out for a walk again? More or less. More importantly, I'm sorry. I didn't really open up about Joshua until the very end. Don't worry. Still, that girl with Joshua is one of the Sky Bandits, isn't she? Yeah, she's cheeky, insulting little punk by the name of Josette Capua. She's also the single biggest tomboy I've ever laid my eyes on. And people call me a tomboy sometimes. I see. She does seem a bit charming from the photograph. She can be pretty cute if she keeps her mouth shut. She did manage to play a perfect upper crust girl when we first met her too. I'm sorry? Estelle explained about how she first met Josette at the mayor's residence in Rolent. I see. That is impressively dexterous, if I may say so. Well, it does make sense since she's apparently former Erebonian nobility. Putting on a face like that is her specialty, I think. Peel away the layers though, and like I said, at the core she's a cheeky, classless little punk. Still, from what I've heard, I can't really find cause to hate her. I suspect that if we found a chance to talk, we might have quite a lot in common. Yeah, I can't see that happening. We'd slide off each other like oil and water. Our personalities wouldn't fit together, trust me. You know what, ironically, Estelle and Josette, they're not so different. But I think you can only see that from a distance and not from the perspective of Estelle. Maybe. Kloe, you were put to sleep with us back there. Did you have some kind of dream? I did. It was during the 100-Day War. During the war? Oh, I see. That's when you were with Matron Teresa. Yes, I was in the care of Matron Teresa during the fighting. We lived together for some time. And... What's wrong? It's just that, even though it was set 10 years ago, Clem and Jill both showed up. If I had stayed in the dream long enough, perhaps even you and Joshua might have appeared. Well, that's a dream for you. Coherence? Not guaranteed. Very. Still, in hindsight, it was a little frightening. In the dream I was happy. Very, very happy. I wanted everything to stay the way from my bottom of my heart. But that isn't right, is it? Simply wishing to escape reality that way? Yeah, I know what you mean. It's always nice to have a happy dream, sure. But yeah, if you ask if I wanted to see the dream again, I'd be a little hesitant. Yes, the dangers of the gospel. I feel like we've gotten into a real hint of them. Terribly powerful, terribly manipulative. It's been ages since I've been to Bose, come to think of it. I think the last time was when Jill took me on a little shopping spree at the Bose market. Alright, I think that's everyone. And I did make sure this time to talk twice to all the members, just to make sure we've seen all the text, so the bell can ring when we go down. There it is. I think this is the first time I got it right in first glance. Thank you for flying with us today. We'll be arriving in Bose shortly. Please be aware that there may be turbulence while landing, so we ask that all passengers take to their seat. Ah, everyone, hello! Good work out there in Rolent. Ah, the Silver Streak, the Heavy Blade, the Immovable, and the Rising Star Rookie all together. Brings a tear to my eye, it does. Rising Star Rookie? You, of course. You're our little walking miracle, who's managed to stop the society in 4 different regions. That's been the gossip anyway. You've got to be kidding. Saying I stopped anything is overstating it more than a little. They just ran off once their experiments were done. You did handle yourself well in Rolent case, Estelle. Don't sell yourself too short. I think you can be a little bit proud. Yeah, but that was just a bunch of coincidences coming together and... No need to get so embarrassed. You just need to live up to your reputation, is all. Yeah, thanks, In. You make that sound like a cakewalk. Anyway, all that aside, what's the situation like here in Bose? Where there's been no sighting of the society whatsoever. No surprise, I suppose. Since the Sky Bandits were caught, the army's been patrolling the region pretty heavily. One thing sticks out though. There have been a few too many dangerous monsters sprawling around these days. Really? You know, I noticed that the last time I was here. Bose seems to usually have more wanted monsters than any other region. Why's that? Most of it comes down to Bose being huge and filled with rough terrain. Makes it common to see monsters come down from the less inhabitable areas. Thing is though, we've had 10 cases just since the beginning of this month. 10? Well, that is a lot. I'm guessing that's kept Sting and the rest of the crew busy. Yes, and Curse team stopped by the other day to slay several of them. Being your debt if you could take care of a few of them for us as well. That strikes me as a good course of action. It's possible the society is involved with this. Yeah, they could hurt someone if we just leave them alone, so we should get out there and take them down. Agate, what's wrong? Yeah, what's up? You're really quiet. Nah, it's nothing. Anyway, let's get out of there and bring back some monster heads. Pardon me. Mayor? Yes, I knew it. Mayor Mabel and Lila. Good day. Estelle, it's good to see you again. I'm glad to see you are well. Wow, it's seriously been forever. I think we last met at the Queen's birthday celebrations, right? Yes, it feels as though it's been ages. I've been hearing all about your exploits in the news though, Estelle. That goes for everyone else as well. I'm glad to see you all safe. Especially you, Kloe. Are you on school break already? I ended up taking a little time off early. It's good to see you again, Mabel. You two seem pretty familiar. Well, Mabel used to be a student at the academy. We met before she graduated. I'm certainly glad we met too. Ah, I see. And Agate Krosner. That's been some time, sir. I suppose so. Hang on, Agate. Mayor Mabel and you know each other? Oh my, yes. I relied on Mr. Krosner a number of times for various jobs only he could do. And 10 years ago? Hey, Mayor. Oh, I forgot myself. Pardon me. Regardless, I simply wish to stop by today to welcome you back. From the sound of things, you're pursuing an international criminal syndicate which threatens the safety of the entire country. An international criminal syndicate. Sometimes they feel more like a society of supervillains, but that's one way to think of them, yes. So far as the city of Bose is concerned, the threat these criminals pose is not someone else's problem, it's everyone's. If I can do anything to assist you in your investigation, anything at all, you only need to ask. Thanks. If we need help, we'll definitely ask. We'll be expecting a lot from you, Mayor. Excellent. Now I'm afraid I must excuse myself here. Should anything come up, please come visit me at my residence. Pardon us? Come on, Agate. Couldn't you have been a little more civil? It's who I am. We ain't running a butler service here. Give me a break. Agate can be kind of arrogant to people sometimes. He's usually polite towards clients, though. You were kind of short with the Mayor, Agate. You're imagining things. More to the point. I remember talking about us bringing back some monster heads. Lugren, give us the breakdown. Right. We have 3 cases outstanding. First, there's a Blade Fang stalking around the Chrome Pass. We've also got a Ghost Epitaph in the Nibel Valley. And finally, an Octobone raising hell at the Emerald Tower. Okay, got those written down. Alright, monster slaying is the perfect task for my greatsword. I'll be taking charge this time around. Well, you are both a native, my good heavy blade. You're probably the best suited out of all of us. I have no objections. Decided then. Go ahead and pick us as a team, Estelle. You're being suspiciously gung-ho about this, you know. Alright, so I think this is also what Melkor mentioned, that if we had Agate as our fixed party member from the beginning of the game, Schera would have interjected herself when we're picking a party at Rolent. Okay, so now is this very question, because Schera's always been it's been our dedicated healer through the entire thing. So, what are we gonna do? Because we now have 2 room, and Agate was one of the 2 I wanted to pick. So do we pick Schera back into our party? Or are we gonna pick Kloe and Olivier? And then of course when we head to Revenue we pick Tita over Kloe. Maybe. Because we do need a healer. And I think Kloe and Schera are basically our 2 healers of the group. So those 2 are interchangeable. Just like Agate and Zin are the 2 main physical attackers. At least Olivier as our main magic user, which I think I want to have him with us. And of course Tita as our main bomb character. So Tita and Olivier are basically in the same ballpark, each with their own speciality.
Great!
I think I'm gonna go with this. That way Kloe and Agate can both level up a bit. And later on we can switch out the party a bit more. Okay, so if we're going all over the region to find those wanted monsters, since we're out, why don't we stop at Revenue Village? Pretty sure I made this clear on the flight over. We'll visit Revenue after we're done with the work here in Bose. You unfeeling clod. I get this the right of it, I think. Or would you want to go and leave our Tita behind? Oh right, gotta bring Tita. Do you have to read just because of that? Yes, we do. This is the answer, Rose. Well, as you can imagine, I'm gonna leave it here. Next time, we're gonna do our rounds through the entirety of Bose, talking to everyone in town. And of course, if we have time left, we'll be going out and get busy with the side quest. And that's also one thing I want to do next time when we start. We're going to go back into the guild, check up on the board if there are any quests besides the monster slaying we have. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 1 or 2 of them. So that way those people that are for the quest, we can keep them last. So that if we talk to them, we can instantly activate the quest. Or something in that degree. But as always, get into the new region, settle in by going to talk to everyone, go by the stores to see what kind of improved equipment we can get, look at the orbments, see if there are any new higher level cords. You know the gist of it, we've been doing it for quite some time now, and I'm trying to be a little bit consistent in that area. So next time, exploring Bose it is. So until then, I wish you a great night, morning, day, wherever you are, and if you're still here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and be back next time as we enter the Enteros and confront Olivier with his wine habit. Bye bye.